Hey everyone, this is Jesse and we're playing Value Vintage today, a format that follows the vintage ban list with a $30 budget limit. Today I'll be playing through a league, 5 unknown decks emulating your normal Magic Online league. These players came from the Value Vintage Discord and are taking decks that they would consider for 1Ks. You can find a link to the Discord in the description. They share local events while also hosting online tournaments. The deck that I'm running this league is Classic Mono Red Burn. Although this is a budget format, this list will look very similar to anyone familiar with the archetype from other formats. Surprisingly, the core of the deck is incredibly cheap, and we get various staples like Goblin Guide and Eidolon of the Great Revel within the budget. The most notable missing cards are fetch lands and canopy lands. Our sideboard is built to interact with the slower, more interactive decks of the format. Skullcrack and Sulfuric Vortex are the anti-life gain interaction. Firecraft is for the counterspell decks, and Molten Rain is mainly for Glimmer Post decks, but it has other applications against greedier mana-based decks. If you're looking for Value Vintage content, please consider liking the video and following the account, and let's get into the games. Alright, we have a match against Fire Destroyer. We played them a couple times on the channel. I don't think I want to... it's tough. This is really tough, because they typically like to play creature decks, so Searing Blaze is solid. I think we are going to keep it. Just hope to draw something, some more spells off the top. If we can just never draw another land, we'll be in a good spot. Grief, okay. This may not be a game we win now. Because if this is, especially if this is a grief scam, they'll take Searing Blaze Skewer, and then we'll just have a Fire Blast and 3 lands in hand. Now, granted, if they do take Searing Blaze Skewer and we draw Searing Blaze off the top, that's really good. Interesting, no scam. So I think at this point, though, since we know that they are doing scam things, we're going to fire these off. I mean, even a Fire Blast, if they go to scam, isn't bad. Like, if they go Life Death here on the Grief, that's 4 damage. We could add 4 damage with the Fire Blast, then we only need 2 more burn spells. There's a lot of spikes, so... I think now too, even if we do fire off this Fire Blast, we just keep this mountain in hand in case we ever draw a Searing Blaze. Okay, Ursign. We don't want to kill that. It is going to present a fast clock, but we do need to just try to amass enough burn spells. Eidolon isn't terrible. At this point, we just need a couple more burn spells. We just need a few more points of chip damage. 2 monstrosities is kind of bad for us. How big are these now? 5/5s? Okay. So we have time still. Another mountain is not good, so we're going to keep that in hand. That shouldn't change the math at all. We won't attack. So if he attacks with... they have trample too. This card is absurd. Alright, so if we block... the only thing we could draw would be second Fire Blast that wins us the game. I think we just have to take it and hope to draw second Fire Blast off the top. Because there's nothing else that wins us the game. yeah, I was gonna say I think that wins us forward because we cast Fire Blast. He takes 2, goes to 2. That's kind of crazy. I was pausing there because I was trying to think. I'm like, I feel like we have the win there if that happens. I don't think we want to do anything else with the sideboard. There could be something like Skullcrack that helps us out here. But I don't know what life gain effects he'll have. Maybe we board in these Skullcracks. Maybe take out the Rift Bolts. I kind of like Rift Bolt more than Skewer here. The unfortunate thing about Skewer is it just, it's really bad when the boards get clogged. A lot of them, especially, what? Oh my gosh. I have to take a picture of this. Oh my god, that's crazy. I'm gonna mulligan, good lord. We'll keep this. We will put this Skullcrack on the bottom. That starting hand might have been the funniest. I've been playing Burn in a lot of formats for a long time. That might have been the funniest hand I've ever seen from Burn. Oh my goodness. Alright, so we have a turn 1 Goblin Guide. Okay, Generous Ent. I'm guessing there is Life Death. I don't think we saw it in any of the milled cards, but I'm guessing that's something that can happen to us in this matchup. Alright, so now we know that they have some targeted discard. In duress, I should say. Okay, double Ignoble. So we've got some blockers. The targeted discard is pretty good against us just because we're pretty low on resources now. I think we drew double land. Yeah, we did because we had 2 lands, the couple spells. So a lot of good draws still here. I don't think our sideboard decisions really affect anything. We're not really seeing anything that matter. No life gain yet. There's Monstrosity. So how large is it now? Okay, so it's a 6/6. So pretty threatening. Probably should have held that land, actually. Just so that way we can always keep something for Searing Blaze. A Searing Blaze off the top would be really good here. Man, these things like come in packs. If anyone knows what the, without Googling, what the term is for a group of bears, please let me know in the comments. Ugh. So that's not good still. It's really unfortunate. We drew 3 lands back to back. Okay, they have a Grist. How big are these now? 8/8s? I think we'll just concede to that. So there are a couple spells coming, but even still, I don't think there's anything different we want to do. We could bring in Molten Rain to try to tag some of the non-basics, but I don't think that that's very good. I don't think these Skull Cracks are going to do enough. I think the Skewers for just more velocity is probably better. Alright. We did not draw 7 mountains. I will keep this hand too. Depending on what their start is, Double Goblin Guide is very, very quick. Maybe we can be fortunate to not get them lands. There's Ursine Monstrosity, so it is coming. Interesting. Did not have a land to reveal? Oh my goodness, speaking of coming in packs. Three lands off the top. Swamp. Generous End, okay. So on the plus side, we do just have lethal unless they can produce a blocker. Okay, Solrig, so they are going to produce the guy. They have the guy. Interesting. Okay, so... as crazy as this sounds, I think we are going to Fire Blast the Monstrosity in response. So that way we take his blocker, we hit him for 6, he'll take our Skewer. But I think that that's the best route. So he's taking our Skewer, we know that. Riftbolt's a great draw. We will suspend and then pass. So the nice part about this is that we have a lot of draws off the top that can, if you would have a board wipe or something here, a Riftbolt into Skewer, into Bolt, Lava Spike, even another Riftbolt, we have a lot of action off the top. But nice, and we got there. So power of Triple Goblin Guides, great match to fire there. He has a Dragon's Rage Channeler. To Mishra's Bauble. Okay, so he's got a pretty solid start here. The most important thing is going to be getting this Eidolon in play now. So that way we can stop any chain. We're going to have to force removal. But there's another land, so we'll start combat by attacking. So we'll just have to be careful that we don't draw too many lands here. We're in a really good spot with the pressure we have in play right now. We're also able to pick off Ursine Monstrosity, or if he plays a couple more blockers, we can pick off 1 or 2 of them. These being sorcery speed means we'd have to do it pre-combat, but it's not the end of the world. Something like a Searing Blaze off the top would be really good here. Looks like he's trying to get the Darcy online to race. So this Darcy will be Delirious. We just need to get him low enough so that way every spell he casts starts to be a liability. So let's do this. We'll Chain Lightning. We'll send all this face because this Darcy isn't going to be able to block anytime soon. A little bit of lag here. So we're going to take a little bit of damage from our spells here, which is alright, because we're putting a lot of damage through. This is actually, I think, just shy of lethal. Yeah, because he'll go to 3. We'll suspend the Rift Bolt, and the Rift Bolt becomes lethal. And then we also kind of lock him into one spell this turn. He's not going to be able to block with his Darcy, so we just have enough combat damage, so we got there. Top card was a Fire Blast, so... Alright, so we know that... I don't know how much life gain he's going to have in his deck. Are we even changing a single card here? I don't know that we want these Skull Cracks. There wasn't anything previously that made us want them. We're kind of in a race here. We don't want these Molten Rains. He's not countering our spells. I think we just ship back the same 60. This hand's kind of land heavy, but it does have a Searing Blaze, so we go Rift Bolt into Searing Blaze with Skewer. I think we're going to keep it. We just need to make sure that we're drawing more action off the top. Alright, so what do we start with here? Another land, so not a good spot to be there. So hopefully he plays a creature that we can Searing Blaze here. If not, it's not the end of the world. We have Skewer, maybe we get a 1-drop. Something like a Swift Spear off the top would be pretty solid here. We've got maximum stock in Searing Blaze triggers. Alright, so no play. Alright, something good off the top. Okay, double Skewer's pretty good here. I hope there isn't something like Weather the Storm here for us. That would be pretty bad. Okay, it's a cash grab. Okay, so not bad at all. So he takes his turn off for Ursine Monstrosity. I think he is... Yeah, he's Delirious now for sure. So this thing would be attacking for 8 normally. Luckily, we do have the Searing Blaze. We'll be able to get it online also. Target both of these. We will Lava Spike now. I'm not sure if they have something like Weather the Storm, but... we want to be able to just keep them as low as possible. It loses some stock if we like draw a Swift Spear this next turn, but Eidolon's really good here. A Fire Blast is really good here because it would put them at 1, so any spell would be good. They are digging. Oh, anger. Okay. Oh, this might be bad for us. So how much damage is this? Is this... Because it's when it attacks too, right? Oh my goodness. Okay. We might be in some trouble here then. There's actually nothing we can draw here. That's absurd with the anger in the yard. Yeah, Lava Spike's not going to do it, so we'll concede here. That was pretty crazy. That was a lot of damage. So that would have been lethal across the 2 turns, but we were a turn too short. I still don't think we do anything with the sideboard. We didn't see anything life gain related. We don't need the Vortex or the Skull Crack. This matchup seems kind of fast on both ends, so we'll just run it like this. We'll run it back. Yeah, that was a crazy turn with the Fly Trap. Alright, so we need a good hand of action. This hand looks great. We'll start here. Goblin Guide in play. Oh, they got the freebie. So next turn we have Swift Spear. If we can draw a 1-drop burn spell, it's a really good spot to be in. Let's see what they hit. Have a lot of things they can discard. 9 cards in hand. So land. Okay, interesting. My guess is that they have an easy way to turn on Delirium, like Baubles or Tarfire. Right, so I have a little post-combat skewer here. We have the Searing Blaze if they play another creature, or if they play a creature, I should say. Okay, so there's the Tarfire, so we're going to lose one of our guys, most likely. So they go to 12. We'll have to think about this next turn here. I doubt we try to keep the Swift Spear alive with the Fire Blast, just because if they play a Monstrosity or a Darcy, we can Searing Blaze it. If I was them, I would Tarfire on their turn, though. Just so that way I don't have a response with an instant speed spell. Looks like they're going to pass. Alright, so now we actually have 3 lands, so we can go for an aggressive Fire Blast if we need to. I'm going to attack. We don't want to push it through now. Okay, so he's Tarfiring there. So that's fine. I think we just take them... This is tricky. I think we just let this happen. We have a lot of damage available in hand. We don't need to sack our lands yet. Next turn could be a huge swingy turn of Spell, Searing Blaze, Fire Blast. If he does play any type of blockers. So I'm guessing there's like a bolt coming here. I'm actually surprised that these Searing Blazes haven't... This Searing Blaze hasn't done anything yet. So we'll just continue to poke. Cash grab, okay. Another Tar Fire. I think the card I'm most threatened of here is Flytrap. He doesn't have an Anger, though, to turn it online yet. Okay, milled 2 Flytraps. Looks like he picked it up. So I think here we are going to Fire Blast him. We're just doing this so that way we can force him to use 2 spells to clear our Swift Spear. And we have another land to turn on our Searing Blaze. We'll use up the mana. Alright, so we're going to play this land now. Doubt there's a flash threat. So now we're set up for next turn. If he plays a Flytrap and plays it back as a blocker. Okay, so he doesn't have Anger. This is at least a turned on Searing Blaze next turn. Okay. So he's one Say Its Name short. Another mountain. Okay, so no matter what, I think we push damage through here, because what this turn looks like is attacking in. I'm not sure where the punt is. Attacking in, if he goes to block, if he doesn't block, then he dies. So he naturally blocks. Snize it 2, any burn spell kills off the top. I don't think this is enough. Okay, so that doesn't have haste, so we basically only have a turn. Oh, is this Flytrap gonna be? I think that Flytrap's lethal. Man, that might have been a punt attacking with the Swift Spear then. That's three Flytraps in the top 30. Yeah, because this thing's huge now. Man, that card is crazy. And there's a Lava Spike to win it. Jeez, good games to blue for that deck. That deck has my number. We gotta prepare for that a little bit better. But man, that deck's absurd. So GG's to them. Great showing of red green Delirium. Got to keep it on the radar. All right, so we have a match against Gaia Metris. I've never played against them before, so curious to see what they have. This is a good start. So just go for a turn 1 Bolt, and then turn 2 Eidolon. Oh, okay, it's Cloud Post. Nice. Not sure what, this is probably just standard mono green post, but I'm not sure how this matchup goes. I think if they find Glimmer Post, it's bad for us, but outside of that, I feel like They probably don't have a whole lot to interact. I can tell you that our Searing Blazes are probably really, really bad. So we're going to take a little bit of damage here, but we're going to push through a lot as well. That expedition map is 100% finding Glimmer Posts. So they're at 9. They're going to go to 7 with this Eidolon. So this Cloud Post, with Cloud Post mana, they're going to find this. They're going to crack this expedition map, get a Glimmer Post, go up to 10. Oh, it is Blue Post. Awesome. Okay. So what is this? Frantic Search. Okay. If they cast another spell, though, we do get to kill them. So we can go Fire Blast their face. Is that Island? Yeah, Island for the discard. She gets to float mana for the expedition map. Yep. There's the Glimmer Post. He definitely has a counter spell. So we might be able to get him in response to a spell. Doesn't look like it, so. Do we go for this here? I don't think there's any reason not to. So if he does get to counter it, it's a lot of mana. Oh, very cool line. That's still not enough. Nice. Okay, got it. Alright, so we're going to bring in these Molten Rains. I love Molten Rain. We're going to bring in these Vortexes. Is this just like a full sideboard flip? Firecraft, Skullcracks. We don't want... Where is it? We don't want these Searing Blazes. I'm actually not sure if I like the Eidolons here. I think we get rid of these Skewers, just because we have a lot of costly cards that we're bringing in. Maybe the Rift Bolts. Just because they're costly to cast initially. Maybe it is a couple of these Eidolons. We'll try it like this. I'm still not 100% sure. It looks like it's Blue Post, but there's a combo deck with Coveted Jewel with the Post lands. The Ghostly Flicker might be a call sign to that. If that's the case, then the Eidolons are correct to play. But we'll have to see this game. We'll have to see what else he does. Alright, so we will just main phase Slava Spike and then pass. So we have a lot of burn in hand. So 3 mana. Alright, I'm sensing a Tinker in our future. We're going to leave up this Skullcrack, so we kind of lose out on mana here. So we're going to go for the Skullcrack here. Doesn't have blue mana to counter, which is good. Also doesn't have blue mana for the Sculpting Steel, so... I'm curious on... Actually, now that I see the Sculpting Steel, this really leads me to believe that this is the deck I was just talking about. The Coveted Jewel combo deck. If we draw a land there, it's really huge. Missing out on it's a little unfortunate. At this point, though, we're just going to push damage. They're basically getting a free turn to do whatever they want. 3, so we don't have a Fire Blast kill here. Fortunately, next turn, we have a really good turn lined up. We have 10, we have 13 damage just in these spells here. Six mana. Is this a Coveted Jewel? Okay, we're starting with a Frantic Search. If we do get a game 3, if we're dead here, the Eidolons 100% come back in. I'm almost positive that this is the Coveted Jewel combo deck. And if that's the case, Eidolon is very good here. Okay, Tinker, probably for a Coveted Jewel, unless he has something like Sphinx of the Steel Wind, which he does. I think we still have it, though, because we go Bolt, Bolt, Fire Blast. There shouldn't be... Could have something like Foil, but I doubt it. So we'll go Lava Spike. Lightning Bolt. And I will cast a Fire Blast. And we got there, man. That's a sweet deck, though. I really hope to see more blue post going around. But GG Sagaya, cool showing of the deck. All right, so we have a match against Clamilton. So we've played Clam a few times on the VODs. This hand is fine. Double Fire Blast is kind of awkward, but it is a lot of damage. Kahira. Okay, so I think we're going to keep this. Whoops. So we'll start by casting or suspending Riftbolt. Next turn we have access to Lava Spike, Chain Lightning. So it's some kind of blue-white variant. Might be Ripfield, which if it is blue-white Ripfield, we don't really have a ton post-board. So we are going to cast the Eidolon, get the Eidolon in play. If we can get 2 damage out of it, it'll at least do part of its job. We do have 10 damage in hand for sure, just through the Lava Spikes and Chain Lightning and fire and one of the Fire Blasts. So we'll just start combat with 2 damage. Looks like a sword, so yep. So we'll get 2 life out of that exchange. There shouldn't be a reason that we need to save this mountain. Searing Blaze is a pretty dead draw. So we are 1 mountain away from having access to double Fire Blast. I'd like it if we can get some instant speed burn spells, so that way we can try to force them to Force them to interact on their turn. They are at 6, so there's a chance just a bolt or some sort of other effect off the top lets us get there. We could Fire Blast here while they're tapped out, take them to 2, but any of our 2-drop burn spells end up missing now. We also couldn't do something like Skewer because we only have 1 mountain to Fire Blast. And as odd as it sounds, we do still have kind of a lot of time that we could amass more burn spells. We'll jam the Eidolon here. Good chance they have a counter spell. If they don't and they have a swords, though, we can try to go for the Fire Blast kill. And they have the lose focus, that's fine. What is this port town from? Warhammer, okay. So right now we've seen Contaminated Landscape, which means they could be on the Esper version. If it is Ripfield, it could just be a fetch land for blue-white. Alright, so we actually have something interesting here. If they go to tap out for something, we do have double Fire Blast, so we do have the kill in hand. I still think we want to wait, though, till we draw another burn spell so we can try to do all these things at the same time. Potentially just try to kill him. So we'll wait. If they would do something like tap down for Colonnade 2, we're in a pretty decent spot. Okay, we're doing something here. Okay, adding Kahira to hand. The nice part about Kahira is that our Searing Blazes do get turned on, so that's the main reason we're actually holding these mountains. We want to be kind of threatening to them, and if there is any upside with Searing Blaze hitting a Colonnade or Kahira now, we want to be able to turn it on. A Goblin Guide, so we will try to go for the Goblin Guide here. It's interesting. So if you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 3 mana up still for Colonnade. I think we are going to go for this here. Because we have enough lands now that we could double sack Fire Blast here. Okay, interesting, he's Brain Surging. So now I can't block with Colonnade. Probably looking for a Swords here. He does get to draw the island off of the Goblin Guide trigger, but so we ate a Swords. He's 8 cards in hand, so I don't think we can fight over these Fire Blasts. If there's a window where they go for Ripfield, that's when we would want to be Fire Blasting. Just because we need to make sure we get that pressure on. Okay, so it looks like a Miracles variant. We're starting to draw a lot of lands here. This is 7 of our 20 mountains in the top 16, so Depending on what we draw next turn, if we would draw another mountain, I think we just play it to be able to hard cast the Fire Blast. Maybe that's not good. Because we could just leave them up for... try to cast them for free into like a lose focus replicate. Alright, so we have a bolt, so if we can get them to commit to something on this next turn, we can start trying to cast some spells here. Alright, so they have Entreat. This basically means that every creature draw now is definitely dead. The Colonnades were going to be a pretty big roadblock, but... So what is this for 12? Oh, wow. This is an aggressive Entreat. Excuse me. I think I almost want to... I think we're going to go for this now, so that way they don't get a chance to make their land drop. So now we will cast Fire Blast, sacrificing 2 lands. And now we will cast Fire Blast, sacrificing 2 lands. So if they have something like foil, they have us, but nice, we got there. Alright, now, excuse me, we have a lot to bring in here. We want these fire crafts for sure. These vortexes are pretty good. We can slide one in early, we're in a good spot. I don't think we want Molten Rain. If they're on 3 color, I would bring in Molten Rains, but what are the chances that they're going to bring in something Baneslayer Angel-esque? I guess we have the Sulfuric Vortexes, so we don't have to worry about that too much, but it is something to keep in mind. I'll actually get rid of these skewers. If we lose this round, or this game, and we go to a game 3, I think I'm going to cut the Rift Bolts and add the skewers back in. Ooh, very close hand. I think we're going to keep it just because we have 2 turns to draw another land. And the moment we draw another land, this hand is online in a crazy way. Okay, so they have Entreat the Angels, so they'll need to set that back up. Nice, we got the land. So I think the play here is going to be... We want to double spell this turn in case they have lose focus. And we'll attack with the Goblin Guides and get a post-combat Chain Lightning. So this is probably putting 2 lands back. So there's a Prairie Stream and a Landscape. So that's good. That's good heads-up play by Clam there. Knowing that you're really not at card disadvantage there with your Brainstorms. It's like essentially recall. So we might slow this game down a little bit. If we get some instant speed burn, then we can start trying to cast things on their end step. So there's a Rift Bolt there. We're going to start combat, just trying to attack for 4. See if he interacts in a certain way. These Eidolons have been kind of disappointing. He's getting really good draws off my Goblin Guide, so he's a Port Town and a Colonnade. Interesting. So he goes to 7. I think with that, we'll suspend and then just pass. If he Brain Surges here, we'll go for the Lightning Bolt. What is this? Okay, looks like the Brain Surge. Just a slight mistap. Oh, Shark Typhoon. Okay. With that, still we'll still bolt him though. We'll take him to 4. So we're setting up a really good spot here where he's gonna be at 4. Oh, I guess he just didn't have much left in his hand. So, yeah, tough matchup. I think you have to really be able to hit all axis against burn. But cool to see another blue-eye control deck in the format. I'm not sure if he was doing the rest in peace energy field thing, but GG's to Clam. Love seeing control in this format. All right, we have our final match against Senna. Senna's played a couple different decks against us, so not really sure what he's going to be on today. I will keep this. We do have the Swift Spear, Double Spell following. So we got a lot of early game pressure here. Drawing something like a Fire Blast is actually pretty good here too, because what it could be is Swift Spear this turn, into Bolt Lava Spike next turn, into Hardcast Rift Bolt Fire Blast. So that'd be 10, 13. Oh, interesting. Maybe Convoke? This being a pay land is pretty huge. Well, there's the Fire Blast. We're going to start out with this Lava Spike. It's probably going to incentivize him not to block, which is okay. So we'll attack for 2 here. All right, since he's not blocking, we are going to Bolt Face. Add some extra damage there. So next time we just had 7 points of burn in hand already. Good chance he kind of has a pop-off Convoke turn here. Interesting. I love that some of these tech lands get so cheap. It looks like we probably won't get the attack with the Swift Spear anymore. The nice part is we are only 1 point of burn off. Okay, Goblin Guide, so... We could do something like Goblin Guide attack. We get to leave up Fire Blast. Let's try it like this. We'll play the Goblin Guide. And then we'll suspend the Rift Bolt. And now we'll attack with both. We don't have to lose anything here. Okay, Koldatha Rebirth, so... He could, like, double block this with Novice Inspector, Voldaren, to try to kill the Swift Spear. So, actually, that being unblocked is kind of crazy. So what we'll do is we'll go upstairs, sacrificing these. Because now this is going to put him to 2, and he would have to gain life to live from the Rift Bolt. Not to mention any bolt off the top gets us there too. So pretty good start. Pretty good start to this match. We were fortunately able to fade a potentially really impactful turn 2 with that tap land. I want to see more of what this deck is doing because I have not had a chance to see Convoke in this format. So this is pretty sweet. And now we'll just get to cast the Rift Bolt and go face with it, so. Right, and we got there, so we'll go to the sideboard now. I'm not sure if there's anything I want here. This is kind of awkward with our burn sideboard is that we're built to race game 1. And our sideboard is for interacting with some of the slower decks. But I don't want Vortex here. Molten Rain seems too slow. Firecraft, they're not countering our spells. We could have Skullcrack, but I doubt that we need it for anything. I'm just going to run back the same list. There's a chance we could get like Leyline of Sanctity or something, but I kind of want to see first what he has. Alright, so we have a 1-lander, but this hand is super online. We are going to keep it. We have 2 draws for another land. Something like a Swift Spear into a land would be really strong as well. We just really need to try to find that second land in the first 2 draws. And we have 15 points of burn in hand. Eidolon is pretty strong if we can get it down on turn 2. So we'll suspend this to start. We need that second land off the top this turn. Looks like he did mulligan to 6. Does he have a Convoker? Looks to be so. Knight Errant, okay. So pretty good mulligan down. He's going to potentially get to rebuild here if this Knight Errant can hit something. So Knight Errant, Knight Errant. I actually missed it. He has Gigantha Companion, so... We're going to send this Rift Bolt upstairs. Alright, hopefully a... Didn't get a land. Okay. Since we didn't get a land, we're just going to cast this Skewer since we know that it is online. And how much damage are we taking this turn? So 3, 7, 8, so... We're not out of this game yet. Fortunately, yeah, the 2 creatures that he hit were Knight Errants. So... We're not getting pressed immediately. Only hit a Thraben Inspector, so that's good for us. I think if we miss this land drop here, though, we probably can't come back. So next turn, 1, 2, 5. I think we only have 1 turn left after this combat. Because he's going to hit us for 13. We actually shouldn't Chain Lightning here either. Right, we drew the land. So we shouldn't Chain Lightning here. The reason for that is we would die because he has 8, 9, 10, 13. If we Chain Lightning, he can pay 2 and deal it back to us. So it's interesting. We almost don't want to play the Eidolon either. What can we draw here? Fire Blast gets us there because 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 16. So I think this turn is just holding up Bolt Bolt. And we'll just leave up both bolts for him. If he plays the Haster, the Imidane's Recruiter, then we will die. But outside of that, he needs 3 points of burn. If he actually leaves these 2 lands up for the rest of the game, it's actually pretty crazy. I guess there's a world where if we draw the Fire Blast, we could go float 2, Fire Blast you, Skewer you, Chain Lightning you, and then he can't copy it to save himself. Oh, okay, so that's... Is there anything we can do here? Here's would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. No, there's nothing we can do. It was a good rip. Let's see if MTGO will tell me if I drew the Fire Blast. That's taking too long. We're just going to run back the same list. We didn't really see any reason to bring in any Skull Cracks. So I think we probably get there if we get that second land. Double Fire Blast. We are going to keep this. We just want to maximize damage. So this play will look like Goblin Guide and Eidolon. Hopefully shut down any of his very aggressive starts. Or at least punish him for it with the Eidolon. A mulligan of 5, so that's pretty good for us. Hopefully he's more flooded than not. And the Goblin Guide doesn't give a benefit. Regal Leosar. Okay, that's the mutate one. I do like that card. That card's cool. I think it's mutate is 2 mana, 3 mana. Okay. Excuse me. So we know he has Leosar. We can get rid of this. All right, Epicure's good. Something that would have been bad for us there is like Ornithopter and then make the guys. So we can go Eidolon. And even if we don't draw a land, we have a pretty good next turn with Lava Spike and then Suspend Riftbolt. So there's the Ornithopter, so that's good for us. We want to just tax his spells as much as possible with Eidolon. Probably a reasonable block. Voldaren doesn't really do much more after making the blood token in this matchup, I'd think. I think this situation is going to be like try to put a couple more bodies in play just to convoke out something larger. And now this is where it gets kind of painful. Your Ornithopters, your Koldotha Rebirths, your Gleeful Demolitions, all being 2 extra damage. And there's a Gleeful. So there's a chance here that we, this is like a Loxodon. Oh no, he doesn't have a Convoke to follow up. Interesting. Okay, so we don't have a land for Searing Blaze. We'll probably just wait on that. We'll start combat, though. We will send everything. We have enough damage in hand that it's okay if we get rid of this Eidolon. If we trade off, we just need to keep his larger guys. We're just taking it all. Okay. So at this point, we pretty much have lethal. He'll go to 7. We have Rift Bolt in the upkeep, and then the Fire Blast to end it. We can afford the wait, though, just because in case we draw a lane with Searing Blaze, that also should be good enough. So this gives creatures +2/+1. I don't think this is... Oh, there we go. I was going to say, I thought there was maybe a bug with Moto. So, other creatures you control. This is going to be 2. Nah, this is nowhere near enough. 3, 6, 9, 11. He's 1 card left in hand. We basically have him locked out of the game because the Rift Bolt would go face. Maybe you attack here with just 2 of them? Yeah, okay. So we'll go to 11. Then our upkeep, we'll take another 2, take him the 2. If we draw a land, we just... Searing Blaze for the kill. We'll go Fire Blast the face. And a sweet showing of Convoke. I haven't had a chance to play against Convoke yet in the format, but it looks really strong. There's some very powerful tools. A lot of these cards are very, very cheap. So GG's to send a sweet deck. Very, very happy we got to see that. To end the video, our final record was 4-1, losing to Red-Green Delirium while beating Black-Green Aggro, Convoke, Jewel Post, and Blue-White Control. In all of our games, you could see the similar play patterns of Burn from other formats. The only change I'd explore for this list would be for the sideboard. While we're teched to beat up on the slower decks post board, we didn't have many sideboard options in some of our matchups. Being mono red means we have challenges in our sideboard options. However, this could be something that you could tweak with the current version of the deck. If you liked the video or have something you wanted to share about the league, the recording, or the gameplay, please let me know below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.